All right, starting here with, I think, the biggest story potentially this week in the SEC, because this is so bizarre. Let's kick it on down to Columbia, where, my goodness, Shane, if you caught our interview on the last episode, if anybody missed it, go check it out with Keith Allsap. But, I asked him, who's the South Carolina starting quarterback week 1? And all indication, and he's not the only one saying it, sounds like it's going to be this Zeb Noland, who, hell, a week ago was a GA. Former North Dakota State quarterback, former Iowa State quarterback. He's been all over the world here. But I don't know. I don't know whether to say, I'm hitting the panic button because that's where we're at with South Carolina. If a GA a week ago is your starting quarterback, or if this is like a stroke of masterful moves here by Shane Beamer to hire a coach that can play quarterback. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know which one. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, well, Wally Beamer, he found out this guy has never played quarterback. He was working on this farm when his dad passed away, and he just never got to go to college. He saw he got a golden arm. So, no, this was a bizarre story. This is when we talk about, if he actually plays, could you imagine, Mike?
I think he's going to start.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to think of a success, like a real one that's not cinematic adventure here. The closest I got was the opposite of Lane Kiffin. If you don't remember, Lane just said the hell with playing football. He picked up a clipboard, so it's like the opposite.
How many Disney movies are going to be made about this kid if he comes out and he's awesome? You know what?
Oh, I know. What's his name? What's his name? The Boston guy. He seems like he's always in those. He did the Eagles movie.
Mark Wahlberg?
Mark Wahlberg. Yeah, this is right down his dad alley,
But, we joke about, hell, maybe this guy's the next Chris Winkie, but...
Yeah, Kurt Warner, just getting another chance at life. So I love it, man.
But when you break it down, on the face of it, it just seems so bizarre. But at the same time, Shane, they've got, what do they got? They got a true freshman potentially to play, or they got a guy that they're getting from the FCS ranks, and they didn't play football last year. So, South Carolina just in such a difficult spot here with Luke Doty. Let's hope he can even play. Maybe he'll suit up and it'll all be fine. But I think maybe this is why I'm starting to see some South Carolina fans temper expectations if that's who we got coming out. But, hey, let's give Shane Beamer all the credit in the world, because he was asked about this in length here on Tuesday, and he sounded pretty optimistic about old Zeb Noland.
Hey, Shane, have you named a starting quarterback?
We have not, David. That didn't take you long. No, we haven't. Couple things on that. Luke just got his cast off on Sunday. I don't think we're not going to name a quarterback until we see what his situation is. He got his cast off on Sunday. He's in a boot right now. I talked to him before practice. He's able to take the boot off and move around a little bit, but when he's out on the field, he's got the boot on. Feels good. We'll keep progressing him along and see where he is. So that's one situation we're still working through. With the other guys that are competing, frankly, Zeb had a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday practice last week and a scrimmage, so he's really only been playing quarterback for obviously a week. So give him today, tomorrow, Thursday will be critical practices, and then I think we'll have a better idea how that thing's going to shake out here towards the end of the week once we get through these next few practices with our current quarterbacks, and then once we see what Luke's situation is also.
I was about to say, do you have a drop-dead date that you know that we got to have a guy by this time?
You'd love to go into next week where everybody knows who the quarterback is, where we can rally around that guy and he starts getting those reps with the first group and things like that as well. But, all those guys, Luke before he got injured, Jason, Zeb now, they've all gotten plenty of work with that first group, with that second group, and whoever it is. We've got confidence whoever takes the first snap out there next Saturday night to go perform and lead us. So from that standpoint, yes, sooner the better, but at the same time, all those guys are ready to play, whoever it is.
How have you seen just Zeb being able to step into a situation, a guy that maybe a couple months ago, as he alluded to before after Sam Houston, didn't think he was going to probably play football ever again. How quickly has he been able to pick things up, and how impressive has he looked so far for a guy based in the situation that he's in?
Yeah, he I think he's been fantastic. I really do. He's a coach's son, so he's been around the game. I've known, his dad and his family for a long time. He was a guy that I can remember when we were trying to, I don't want to say recruit, when we were talking to him about becoming a graduate assistant here. I remember the very first time that Coach Satterfield talked to Zeb on the phone. Sat came to me. He's like, that guy might be the smartest quarterback I've ever talked to in my entire life. He's so brilliant. Some of the things that this is when he was at North Dakota State, and it was kind of an interview, so to speak, to make sure that Sat felt good about him. And Sat was like, golly, I mean, he would help us right now as an offensive staff, just his knowledge of pass protections and route concepts and all that stuff. So it's no surprise from a mental standpoint that he's been able to pick stuff up. I mean, he was in our staff meetings a week and a half ago in the offensive coaching meetings. I think the biggest thing that's a testament to Zeb and what kind of leader he is the way that he's been able to get the players to rally around him as well. And before I told the team what we were doing, I met with some of the defensive players in my office privately, and then I met with some of the offensive guys, and we talked about it, and they were great because they know what Zeb is. And, he's an easy guy to like. He's an easy guy to rally around. He told me this. I hope it's accurate. I don't think he lied to me. I guess he was a captain at North Dakota State when he was the backup quarterback, which you don't hear a lot of. I mean, that's pretty dang impressive for your teammates to feel that way about you. And then at the same time, he's been, he was living the coach's life where the workouts and all that stuff ain't quite what our guys were doing before he started playing. So to go from that to right out there on the field, I mean, there's going to be some rust and things like that for sure, and you certainly see it. But the arm talent, the knowledge, being able to get us in the right protection, get the ball to the right person, that's been very impressive and will only continue to get better.
Hey, Shane, I want to go back to Zeb for a second. In addition to his experience and his overall knowledge of the game, how much is he being helped that he's coming off a spring season and played pretty recently?
Yeah, great point, Rick. I think that's huge. And that's the first thing I told when I told the team what we were doing. I showed some clips of him playing at Iowa State, going up against Kyler Murray. But then we also talked about, I showed some clips of him playing in the spring, that here is Zeb in a playoff game the same time you guys were, I think, playing the Garnet and Black game. I think it was the same weekend that he had a playoff game. So we were practicing against each other. He was playing in a playoff game at the college level. So certainly I think it would be maybe a different story if he had played last fall and then had been sitting around doing nothing since December. We may be having a different conversation right now because I don't know how far along he would be physically. But the fact that it wasn't that long ago that he was playing a game certainly is very helpful and is an advantage to us right now. And we told the team that, and it's true.
All right, Shane. So, I mean, Shane Beamer he doesn't sound despondent. I think he did over the weekend with his doom and gloom comments and all that. But maybe this is why he was saying it's not doom and gloom. Maybe because he knew we got us a coach on here who play quarterback. So
yeah,
I don't know. As weird as it is, he still seems optimistic.
Well, you know why, Mike? He looked at that damn schedule, buddy. You got Eastern Illinois, you got Eastern Carolina. Hell, you could have Eastern Berlin on there. They're going to be all right. They just got to be ready by Georgia. So I think that's why he's a little bit optimistic. Is not that his guy's going to be ready or Saturday, but I think he's looking. Hey, by the time we really need Luke, hopefully we can get him on the field.
Yeah, and you got to think that's week 2, East Carolina. Hopefully, they're not going to rush him out there, but really you need him by week 3 against Georgia. So
for sure,
they've got several weeks here before they really need him in the lineup. You know what?
Yeah, don't rush this thing. You got a good ball club. You can beat these guys without a quarterback. Seriously, can. I'm not saying that you're not going to have a quarterback, but you just don't need a game changer out there. You just need a guy that won't screw up. And because the last thing you want is to talk about one of these teams beating you. So it's just stick to your fundamentals. I think they're going to be fine. Yeah,
and the last injury update here, another very important one. It's it's really unfortunate how many nicks South Carolina's dealing with here, but Kevin Harris is not suited up at all for training camp. So Shane Beamer was asked about that. Let's kick it over to Beamer.
Shane, with Kevin, obviously he did what he did last year, but considering he hasn't practiced at all in preseason, is it, kind of not, I don't think panic's the right word, but is it like, okay, maybe now's the time that you want to have an answer of like he's going to be back by this date?
Yeah, I mean, we got a pretty good idea of when he, is going to be ready, and we're optimistic that it's next week. And if he's just not able to go next week and he's not 100%, then we surely expect him to be ready for the following week. He was in full uniform today. He's running around. He's doing everything. It's just, he met again last week with the doctors that did the procedure on him last week, and it was a great response, great feedback, and we're continuing to talk to Kevin and his mom and all the medical personnel, and we're not discouraged or anything with where he is right now. We knew when he had the procedure this summer that it would be right around the first game that he'd be ready to go, and that hasn't changed. He's got a great spirit about himself, and we know he's going to be carrying the football for us a lot this year, and a lot starting in September. And whether that's September 4th or September 11th remains to be seen, but he's not far off at all, and there's no concern or panic or anything from our standpoint. I mean, he's doing a lot of running with our strength staff to stay in shape, and obviously I'm not naive. He's got to be able to get out there and get some live action in practice and knock the rust off and things like that, but he's doing as much of that as he can.
All right, Shane. So again, maybe just Shane Beamer's just riding that positivity train, but he seems to think Kevin Harris will be good to go, and I mean that's fantastic. Let's hope he sees the field and he's 100%. But hey, if nothing else, the head coach is certainly feeling optimistic. It sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be a little pep. I mean, these kids are excited. They haven't got to play college football in a while, so I just think everybody's got to. I mean, because you're going to listen from every camp just about, and there's a whole bunch of positive vibes coming out. But
right.
It's going to be a hell of a year, Mike. So,
well, let me ask you this, Shane.
Yeah,
if you got Marshawn Lloyd, and you got Zakondre White, and you can even kick Bell potentially at running back.
Yeah.
Would you hold back Kevin Harris for
Hell
Georgia
yeah.
Week 3?
Hell, without a doubt, Mike. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to line Marshawn back there at Wildcat, and we're going to win this damn game without a quarterback. That's what we're going to do. So we don't need Kevin right now. We need Kevin to get healthy. We don't need Luke right now. We need Luke to be healthy, because if you're going to somehow pull off a miracle with Georgia Bulldogs, you're going to have to do it with your studs back in the lineup. So I think that's what it is. Just to be safe. He knows he's playing two cupcake teams. He knows that this team can beat him without those guys.
Yeah, I think so.